heard him talk a lot about bombing people and places. And when you give these orders to carry out this extreme level of violence, what's going through your mind and your body? Do you have like an adrenaline rush? Are you scared? Do you feel like you're on a power trip? Just walk us through and paint us a picture of what it feels like mentally and physically.
It's a very TMZ question. My only thought process is to ensure that our warfighters have everything they need to be successful, defeat and destroy the enemy, and they come home.
I got to tell you, that's TMZ, the TMZ reporter, what's his name, Jacob Wasserman. Jacob Wasserman of TMZ at the Pentagon briefing this morning, asking kind of a bizarro profile magazine-style question. What does it feel like as the Secretary of War to give orders to the U.S. military to take action as instructed by the National Command Authority, the President of the United States? How does it feel? Do you get off on it? Do you get kind of a kick out of ordering people to kill other people? It was freaky. You know, the Trump administration has decided to let TMZ, the kind of Hollywood entertainment people, let them cover government briefings here in Washington, D.C. as though they're... I got to tell you, TMZ breaks more news than the New York Times does. Even though they're an entertainment entity. But it was a freaky question. It was a freakazoid question. It'll be one for the books. And I got to tell you, Pete Hegseth, giving him that much respect in response, he did say that's a very TMZ question. But boy, was it a TMZ question. It certainly was. In fact, can we just hear, I don't even need to hear Pete Hegseth again. I just want to hear this question at the Pentagon briefing again. I spent 10 years covering the Pentagon, and I always enjoyed my Pentagon briefings. I don't think I ever heard a question quite like this asked at a Pentagon briefing before.
I've heard you talk a lot about bombing people and places. And when you give these orders to carry out this extreme level of violence, what's going through your mind and your body? Do you have like an adrenaline rush? Are you scared? Do you feel like you're on a power trip? Just walk us through and paint us a picture of what it feels like mentally and physically.
It's a very TMZ question.
Just walk us through. How's it feeling mentally and physically, and what's going through your mind and your body? And I can tell you what's going through my mind right now, and it involves a taser. But that's not important. Isn't that great? Just wonderful stuff. These people. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Just great. Yeah, the Democrats, I love that, I gotta have people responding to that. In fact, I know we've got other things we need to get to. And I love the sloths, Max Frost. Nothing can change the shape of things to come. Max Frost and the troopers, remarkable stuff. The Democrat Party, and they just keep giving us crazy, don't they? And the sloths, he's concerned about sloths, but he wants to fund Planned Parenthood because they don't like people. They're not people. And here's a crazy story out of New York. We've got the World Cup. That's a soccer match. They call it football in some places, but we have football here, real football. And they kick the ball, kick. They have soccer and all that stuff. In fact, yesterday I was talking to, here in the building where I am now, I don't want to give away too many details. I was talking to a man that works in this building every day, and it turns out he's a former professional soccer player out of Brazil who played with Pele. Professional soccer. Amazing stuff. A random thought, but I had that conversation yesterday in the building, so I wanted to share that. Here's the headline from Bloomberg News about the looming World Cup and games in New York and all kinds of, soccer, kick the ball, kick, all this stuff. And the Democrats are very big on it because they don't like anything American like baseball or football or anything like that. New York hotel bookings, because the World Cup is coming, showing no signs of World Cup boost. In other words, nobody's booking rooms in New York for the World Cup because it's soccer. And, look, if I'm at a sports bar and there's a World Cup, the last game can be a little bit of fun. But it's 45 minutes later, oh, look, there was a shot on goal and it missed. Oh, and another 45 minutes. There was another shot on goal and it was caught by the goaltender. Oh, ridiculous. But in New York, the World Cup is going to be on us soon. How are the hotel bookings looking? No difference at all. Nobody's coming to New York for the World Cup, so just forget about it. That's a little bit amusing because we're not really a side, and soccer is fine, but it's a good game to play because it's good exercise and you run around a lot. Kick. Embarrassing. Completely ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Also, Democrats are upset about everything. First Lady Melania Trump unveils new beehive on the South Lawn. That's the headline. I've seen a couple of stories on this today, and the Democrats are very upset. There's a beehive, and it's up on a pole, and it's a replica of the White House. It's not the same size. It's a miniature because it's a beehive, And there are a lot of places in Washington with beehives. Who is that? The Swedish embassy. They have a big piece of property in Northwest D.C., and they have beehives, the big white wooden beehives. They got them all over the place. But now, First Lady Melania Trump announced the expansion of the White House honey program. I think that might have started under Bill Clinton. The honey program, with the addition of a newly installed and fully functioning beehive on the South Lawn, handcrafted by a local artist. And I think that's kind of a fun thing. In the image of the White House, the beautiful new hive will add 2 new bee colonies to the existing 2 colonies that already produce the signature White House honey. They got the signature White House honey. I don't think anybody's ever given me the signature White House honey. The new beehive is expected to increase annual honey production by an estimated 30 pounds, allowing for even greater use in preparing White House culinary dishes served as official gifts from the president and the First Lady, and supporting charitable donations of healthy foods to local food kitchens. I don't think the local food kitchens should get the honey from the White House. What do you think? I don't think so. They'd steal it if they could, though, because, isn't that amazing? Yes, sir. A lot of crazy out there. Lots and lots of it. Yeah, the beehives on the White House. And it's really a cool-looking thing. It is. More bees in there than there are people going to New York for the World Cup. I think that's true. Seems to be obvious. You're a Democrat party. Yeah. Also because Democrats love crime. Everybody knows they love crime. In Virginia, in Fairfax County, Virginia, they have a communist who's a George Soros, wanker, named Steve Descano, district attorney, Fairfax, and he's a George Soros money guy. Put him in there. And he loves crime, Steve does. And he loves illegal aliens that commit murder and rape. He loves them. And here is the Virginians for Safe Communities on their Twitter site. Fairfax Soros, DA Steve Descano, let illegal alien child predator Ronnie Menendez Escobar out on no bail, 3 days after his arrest, October 23rd of 2025, before he was arrested again for child porn, November 6, 2025, again released by Steve Descano. And then Steve Descano dropped all 17 charges against the illegal alien child sexual predator Ronnie Mendez Escobar. And that's because they want more of this. They want more illegal alien sex criminal, child sex predator, child pornster. And he doesn't want him deported from the United States back to his home country. He wants him loose in Fairfax County, Virginia, because he wants more of this. More Democrats, more murder. More Democrats, more crime. More Democrats, more child sex predators that are illegal aliens. Yes, sir. Just amazing. Also, ICE arrested another illegal immigrant in Fairfax County after Sheriff Stacy Kincaid ignored ICE detainers and released him back into the community. Court records show Steve Descano dropped several charges against the accused child predator because that's what Steve Descano does. He's pro-crime. And you're an illegal alien? You're a child sex predator? Steve Descano's got your back. You're a child in Fairfax County? He does not have your back. You're a parent of children in Fairfax County. Steve Descano does not have your back. Steve Descano is pro-crime. George Soros is pro-crime. And they're pro-illegal alien. And they're pro-illegal alien child sex predator. And they don't incarcerate them. They don't deport them. They put them back on the street. That's the Democrat Party. I don't think they're on Team America. Wah, wah, wah. Who called in? Somebody called in yesterday and started with Durka Durka Muhammad Jihad. Durka Durka Muhammad Jihad. That's Team America. Great stuff. Also in New York, FDNY, that's the Fire Department of New York. It's NYPD, New York Police Department. But then they reverse it for the fire department. FDNY, NYPD, FDNY. Democrats are behind this. FDNY plans to hike cost of ambulance rides by 29% increase on-site emergency treatment by 42%. They charge you for the when a Democrat mugs you and knocks your mother over the head with a brick and she's bleeding out on the sidewalk, then the FDNY, the Fire Department of New York, they send an ambulance, and here's their new plan. They're going to increase the costs by not 30%, just 29% on the ambulances. And because the socialists have taken over, the communists have taken over, and everything is free, but it's going to cost you a lot more. See, because the commies are here, and Mamdani is a commie. He's a commie and a jihadi, and all the Democrats voted for him. The Jewish Democrats voted for him. Membership in the Democrat Party has its mental illnesses. That's doesn't have its privileges anymore. It's just so FDNY ambulance cost up 29%, and on-site emergency treatment if they have to patch the bullet wound or pull you off of the subway track where your leg is pressed against the third rail. Then they're going to charge you, and they charge you money always, but now they're increasing the cost by 42%. These price tags are enough to make you sick, the New York Post reports. The FDNY is considering, under the new mayor there, hiking ambulance and emergency medical bills by double digits, blaming the squeeze on patients' pockets on inflation. What's that? Patients' pockets on inflation and coming pay increases for union workers. They're union workers. They're workers just like in the USSR. And they're union workers. So they're getting pay increases. So if you're injured in New York, you're going to have to pay for the new increases in the union pay. The proposed hikes could send an ambulance ride through the 911 system, soaring 29%, while treatment in place services would balloon an eye-watering 42%. The fire department proposing this rule because of increased costs and to help offset the city's cost of providing these services. What do you pay taxes for? You pay taxes there? I think they pay some of the highest taxes in the world. Oh, yeah, in fact, Maryland. You see, Maryland, it was learned, I heard this on the news today, on WMAL. Maryland is the number 2 most expensive state in the country to raise your children. Michael's in Maryland. He's got a son, and his birthday's coming up, I think, isn't it? Yeah, Hawaii is the most expensive state in the country to raise your children. Maryland is number 2 because, everything has to come in by ship because Maryland's an island and everything. Oh, wait, that's Hawaii. It's because it's run by leftists who are here to steal everything. Again, the New York Times, they steal everything. You know, I used to think that a mattress was a piece of furniture, I tell you, until Ghost Bed sent me one of their beds to try. They bring mattresses into the 21st century because Ghost Bed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build mattresses as engineered sleep systems, beds designed to help with relief and recovery at the end of a long day, not just for looks and colors, not fluff. Your body should be healing on the mend while you sleep, comfortably, not fighting for comfort. I notice the difference right away. So if you're waking up stiff, tossing and turning all night, sleeping hot, or even reaching for pain pills before you ever go to bed, hoping tonight will be different for some reason, that's not normal aging. That could be your mattress torturing you and telling you to do something about it. And here's another thing that I love about the Ghost Bed. You get 101 nights to try it at home, and if you don't feel the difference, you can send it back risk-free. GhostBed is offering my audience, that's you, their lowest prices of the season, plus an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/plant and use the promo code PLANT. That's ghostbed.com/plant, and the promo code is PLANTE. There's an E on the end. Nobody knows why. Here it is. And I mentioned this yesterday, the man that founded it. He calls it Ghost Bed because when he was a little kid, he was convinced there was a ghost living under his bed. So he grew up and he created a bed company, a mattress company, and he calls them Ghost Beds. That's fun.
Blimey, this redistribution of wealth is trickier than I thought.
Democrat Party's really en fuego today, aren't they? Let's go to Rod, calling from Arkansas. Oh, Rod, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Good morning, Mr. Plant. Thanks for taking my call. I don't know how you do it. I mean, I would need ADD to keep up with all the idiots. You've got to go after.
It's not easy. I've got to say, I got to take a break at the end of my 3 hours for a few minutes anyway. Then I start over again.
It's Democrats, rape, robbery, murder, and rape. You know, they really like rape.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. Yeah, we love that soundbite. We just played that soundbite the other day from Blazing Saddles. Yeah, it really is the Democrat Party today that you're describing there, Rod. They're nuts.
I got a bad news for the people that's trying to advocate theft on the air, being taped. The Fifth Amendment people, you need to learn it because you can be arrested and jailed, tried under your own acknowledgement for your own crime, even upset you, even if you've done it before and you admit to something. I mean, that's not smart, is it?
It would seem to be unintelligent, which is unsurprising at this point. Yeah, they're criminals and they're dumb.
You said rape twice.
I like rape.
Fun story in the New York Post today that Democrats, the left, believe that bloodshed will be necessary in order to secure utopia. Blood, utopia. It's been going on since the Bolshevik Revolution in St. Petersburg, 1917. That's when they started murdering everybody. And now they're the New York Post with the story on the left says, yeah, there will be blood because utopia takes a lot of blood. And with that said, because they're really just amazing people, and stealing and murder are okay because, utopia doesn't come easy. The Democrat Party is, when do we declare them to be a terrorist organization? They're pretty darn close, I've got to say. I don't know how many people they have to, just amazing stuff. One of the constant radical left beliefs is that in order to get their socialist utopia, blood must necessarily be shed. Never the Marxists' own blood, of course, but they're happy to wade through the blood of others in the belief that the violence is a sort of purifying fire on the way to utopia. That's pretty amazing stuff from the left. And the New York Post with the story today. Dem's favorite podcaster, Hassan Piker, says stealing and murder are okay because you're Frederick Engels and Karl Marx taught them that you're going to have to kill people because they're bad. They're insurance company people, and they shouldn't be allowed. What kind of death do they provide? They provide. They use the Frederick Engels language. And just amazing people. They're terrible. All right, but we've got more for you because it turns out the Democrats. Are you familiar with this annual music festival called Coachella? It's called Coachella. And a bunch of bushy white people doing LSD gather at the Empire Polo Club, where rich guys ride horseback and hit little chuckers around and stuff. Empire Polo Club in Indio, California, in the desert. The Coachella, in the Coachella Valley. And it's just amazing stuff in the Colorado desert. Amazing stuff. They have this festival. And there's one of the lead guys. They just had the festival. I think it just ended last week. It was April 10th to April 19th this year. And they bring a bunch of trendy lefty people who hate humanity. And here's the headline. Again, it's the New York Post covering the news. Coachella star targets American Jews in most outrageous comment yet. They love their colons. Quote, black people during slavery. I'm sorry, what is that? That's right. Julian Casablancas. He probably goes by Julian Casablancas, the front man for the iconic band The Strokes. The Strokes, they're iconic to a dozen people. Ignited a firestorm on social media this week after claiming that American Zionists, the Jews, act like they're black people during slavery in a controversial interview that's now blowing up online. And I want to play this because this guy, Julian Casablancas, who's with a band called The Strokes, and he's big at Coachella, I guess, and he's doing a podcast because everybody does a podcast. He's doing a podcast with a guy called Kareem Rama, who will eventually become a suicide bomber. And he does a YouTube series called Subway Takes. Kareem Rama does. And he no like the Jews either. He's a virulent anti-Semite, a wannabe Jew killer. And Julian Casablancas is a white American guy who's a hipster. And the Democrats have made Nazism fashionable. They've made it trendy and fashionable, that you must hate the Jews. And October 7th, Hamas marauded in, a terrorist army, plotted, schemed, set it up for a long time with the help of Iran. And they marauded and they murdered by the hundreds and hundreds. They kidnapped, they raped, they tortured to death. And the Democrats said, well, we like that. They're in favor of that. And then they killed another baby because they need the organs. But the rocker, he's arguing, well, we've got the audio because these two guys who are Nazis, Kareem Rama and Julian Casablancas, and they're popular in the Democrat Party. They're hipsters, and they should be goose-stepping with armbands in a stadium in Munich because they're not on the side of civilization. But here are the two hipsters from the one Coachella hero and the other a YouTube hero, Kareem Rama. And they really don't like the Jews.
You want the most controversial one? I know you do.
Yeah, give it to me.
Well, it's been nice having a career with you.
Same. Let's go down with the ship, Captain.
American Zionists get the benefits of, white privileged people, but talk like they are black people during slavery.
100% agree. I've never seen something so shocking where they're like, I'm so
oppressed.
I'm an oppressed person. I'm like, you are going to a wedding in Tel Aviv right now when there are 80,000 dead people and more, 80,000 plus dead people, including women and children, half a mile away. Absolutely and totally, you know what? I don't think it's bad to say that.
I don't think it's bad to say that. It's okay to say that. American Zionist. I'm an American Zionist. I'm not Jewish. He means Jews because he's a racist, a genocidal racist and an anti-Semite. And that's very casual with Democrats these days. It wasn't this casual in Nazi Germany to be this anti-Semitic. Most of the genocidal anti-Semitism in Nazi Germany, the townspeople didn't even know what was going on. They don't, hey, where are they going? Oh, they're going to work camps. And because the Socialist Workers' Party, they had all that stuff going on. But American Zionists, he means Jews. I'm an American Zionist, but I'm not Jewish. I'm an Irish Basque Catholic American Zionist. I believe that Israel has a right to exist. But they're such victims, say these fascists. They act like they're black people during slavery, which was a Democrat plantation, the slavery in America thing. And he started out, he thinks he's being cute. Well, it's been nice having a career, meaning the Jews will get him because the Jews control Hollywood and YouTube, so the Jews will get him. So it's he quit before dropping the remark on subway takes with Kareem Rahman. And yeah, it's like blacks, they act like they're the Jews and apparently all Jews are going to, what did he say, Tel Aviv for a wedding? Is that what it is? We're all going to Tel Aviv for a wedding. So I'm not currently scheduled to go to Tel Aviv for a wedding, but I'll see what I can do. Tel Aviv is very nice, a lot of fun. They've got a beach because they're on the Mediterranean Sea, and they don't just use it to kill people and throw dead bodies into like the filthy Islamic terrorists do. But never mind that. Yeah, well, it's been nice having a career because the Jews will get me, and amazing stuff. So and the 80,000 dead. That's I looked it up when I read this. That's the Hamas number. And they count everybody that died of disease and old age and of cancer and of everything else. And they started a war with the big guy next door because they're ghoulish, genocidal lunatics. And so are these filthy people who are the YouTube thing. He rides a New York City subway. You can hear the subway in the background. And they do the interview on a subway train about killing all the Jews in New York and every place else.
I mean, just for the people that are going to be like, Hamas, October 7th, yes, bad, but, Native American rebellions didn't mean it was, okay to do what we did. Slave rebellions that were violent didn't mean that, slavery is not bad. You know what I mean? So that's the scope of that answer, just to be for the haters.
For the media illiterate.
For the media illiterate, these guys are literally illiterate. They're linguistically illiterate. They're journalistically illiterate. They're historically illiterate. They're profoundly illiterate people. Aren't they amazing? Yeah. What about the slave revolts and the Native American rebellions? And that has what to do with what? You savages? You mental dwarves? Just extraordinary stuff. And they say this out, there goes my career because the Jews will get me. Yeah. And the 80,000 dead, they always go with the terrorist numbers. Always go with the terrorist talking points, which the Democrats do all over. We were playing the member of Congress the other day who's going with the Iranian terrorist talking points on what's going on over there. And the Democrats, they're happy to jump into bed with the Islamic Revolution and with Hamas. And they're happy to parrot the talking points of Nazi Germany. My father personally defeated the Nazis in World War II. It's true he wasn't alone, but he was fought. He killed those people wearing swastikas when he was a young man. And he says, wait a minute. And I'm like, you're going to a wedding in Tel Aviv right now when there are 80,000 plus dead people, including women and children. You guys raped all the women and children and tortured them to death in underground tunnels. The people that you're supporting, the side that you have chosen, are the actual genocidal, murdering killers of women and children. And you guys are saying that the American Zionists and the Zionists, and then you make up the number that the terrorists use to play victim after they torture your daughter to death and cut off heads, and the Democrat Party is on the side of the terrorists.
Doesn't matter if rapes happen on October 7th. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much.
Doesn't matter if the rapes happen on October. That doesn't change the dynamic for me. Hey, where's your daughter going to school? I think we're going to do a little doxing like you guys like to do. Just amazing. Just a few days before this interview, Casablancas and his band used their closing set at the Coachella Valley Music Festival to slam U.S. foreign policy and Israel's military campaign from up on stage. And interestingly, nobody shoots them with a rifle, which is kind of fascinating because the people they vilify as being killers are not the ones that are shooting and killing, like they shoot and kill Charlie Kirk and shoot and wound Donald Trump and shoot and wound Steve Scalise, and the list goes on and on. The Family Research Council, and and they're inspired by the Southern Poverty Law Center to assassinate people, and they're shooting CEOs on the sidewalk of New York. And we've got the last guys we just played that were supporting that and in favor of that because they're really not on the side of the angels. And here they are. It's the mainstream Democrat Party. They just love those Zionists. They're all going to weddings in Tel Aviv. And who cares if they got raped and murdered? Honestly. Wow. Yes, sir. Yeah, this Coachella boy, notoriously anti-Trump, of course, grew up a rich kid in New York City. New York City. Yes, sir. And actually, this guy, the guy who's saying this about the Jews, Julian Casablancas, he grew up a rich kid, so rich in New York City that when he was a kid, his family socialized, and he socialized with Donald Trump. With New York billionaire Donald Trump when he was a kid. That's how rich his family is. Isn't that amazing? Casablancas appeared to have anticipated some backlash from the incendiary comments. I mean, just for the people that are going to be like, Hamas, October 7th, bad, Casablancas said before pivoting to a comparison of historical uprising. Native American rebellions didn't mean like, it was okay to do what we did. I got to tell you, slave rebellions against the Democrat Party that were violent didn't mean, slavery is not bad. You guys, you have little tiny brains, little tiny children brains. Aren't they amazing? All right, let's go to let's go to a telephone call, Michael. Let's go to Seamus calling from beautiful Pensacola, Florida. A lot of U.S. Navy airplanes flying around there. Seamus, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Chris, how are you?
Very well, Seamus, very well. What do you say? What do you know?
Well, I just wanted to kind of make a broader point on the Mark Engels thing.
How about if you pick up your phone? Can you pick up your phone? You're on the radio. You don't want to yell to a speakerphone across the room.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Come on, it's professional. That's a lot better. Professional radio and everything. Hey, Seamus, what do you know?
I'm sorry, Chris. I just wanted to make a broader point about the Marx Engels issue we were talking about, and all property being subject to theft.
Good
in this
point.
country, we have a major problem. All of our private property seems to be subject now to taxes, and if you don't pay the taxes, they steal your house. In Virginia, it's tied to your vehicle. They steal your vehicle or make it so you cannot drive it. It becomes a paperweight in your driveway. So I think we need to start going back to some of the fundamentals of capitalism and get away from all of this nonsense that's being thrust upon us in the media. And, the Democrat Party, all their people who collect the money just pleaded the fifth in front of Congress because they're taking money from communists.
Well, and I got to tell you, what we're listening to today with the New York Times and Hassan Piker and theft and stealing and all the women posting their videos that I'm entitled to steal. And because some people are rich, like the owner of Whole Foods, Jeff Bezos, a lifelong Democrat, that we're entitled to steal from him, and we're entitled to steal from him because we're women. This is what the Democrat Party, which is now the left, Seamus, I'm sure you appreciate, they're not teaching Western values, American values. They're not teaching the values of private property and of limited government. They're teaching that everyone should steal everything they can steal and kill everyone they can kill, and that the government, should have all the guns because all power comes from the barrel of a gun.
And Chris, and lastly, I would say that Donald Trump really gets this issue And that's one reason why he started these accounts for young children.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not exactly pure capitalism, but I think it's a system to unfold Social Security.
And to teach people about capitalism and investing and being self-reliant. And, the United States is in deep trouble right now because of, well, people like the voices I've been sharing with you today. It's the Democrat Party. It really is. And thank you, Seamus. And thanks for picking up the phone. I appreciate it. I really do. And what about using nuclear weapons in Iran? Should we use nuclear weapons in Iran? What? Yesterday at the White House, the President of the United States held a press conference that went on for about as long as Gone with the Wind. And he's taking questions from everybody, and they hate him anyway. Joe Biden falls down a flight of stairs, and they report what a hero he is. And he did fall down lots of flights of stairs. But yesterday at the White House, there was a woman who pretends to be a reporter for National Panhandler Radio, NPR. And her name is Miss Landers. Miss Landers, like Beaver Cleaver's school teacher. Her name is Liz Landers, and she's no Miss Landers from Leave It to Beaver, that's for sure. But there are definitely jokes in there nearby. And here's Miss Landers yesterday with the President of the United States. Are you going to use nuclear weapons on Iran?
Sir, would you use a nuclear weapon against Iran? You posted on Truth Social a few weeks ago.
We don't need it. Why do I need it? Why would a stupid question like that be asked? Why would I use a nuclear weapon when we've totally, in a very conventional way, decimated them without it? No, I wouldn't use it. A nuclear weapon should never be allowed to be used by anybody.
Ms. Landers, why would you ask such a stupid question? You're not a school teacher. You're not Leave It to Beaver school teacher. You're stupid, Ms. Landers, with NPR, National Panhandler Radio, suckling on the taxpayer teat. There she is, another Democrat Party front group, like the Southern Poverty Law Center. They call it the SPLC because they like to abbreviate everything, like NPR. And NPR, Southern Poverty Law Center, KKK, the Aryan Brotherhood, all Democrat front groups, the Confederate States of America. Have a great weekend.